Coach, can we start with an update on Norris Corpusalo?
Yeah, day-to-day for Corpy. Just a little sore, so there's no point in backing him up. If we needed him, we wouldn't want to put him in that spot. So if Forsey will go, so he'll back up.
You obviously like what you saw from Anton. In a pretty pressure situation in Sweden.
Yeah, for sure. Looked solid, looked like himself. Looked like he did at the start of the year. And as we know, Forsey's plenty capable. And we got to make sure we're doing what we do in front of him. Limit the odd mans, don't give him tap-ins, and Forsey will make the saves.
If there's one aspect of your game that you liked in Sweden besides the wins that you want to continue in tonight, what would it be?
Odd man rushes against Minnesota, we get one. Whether it's boring or whatever the case may be. I thought our discipline as well was good. We didn't take a lot of penalties. Those two things right there lower your chances significantly. And the less chances you go up, the better chance you got to win.
Where are you at right now with your special teams? Are you in sync on power play and penalty kill?
Our penalty kill's coming right now, I believe. I think over the last little bit, it's progressively getting better. Our stand at the line is getting better. Our reads are getting better. Our power play generated tons of chances against Minnesota. I don't think it's really come out yet. I think we've had spurts, but it hasn't been maybe as dangerous as we'd want it to be. But in saying that, we could have had two last games. So we continue to work on it like anything else in our game. We want everything to get better, and special teams is one of the biggest things.
In general, is that something that takes longer into the season to get flowing?
Sometimes not. Sometimes teams start on fire on a power play and then go completely cold. I think we've been steady there, but we haven't really gone off. We haven't been bad, but we haven't been outstanding either. So we're going to continue to work on it, do what we got to do. We've got players that can score there, and I believe there'll be a stretch where the puck goes away for us.
Is part of that finding the right guys, the right combinations, guys who work together well? Yeah,
for sure. But we've tried different combinations. At the end of the day, it's simplify it. How many shots you getting on net? How many times you outnumbering the other team at the net? Your retrievals, your work ethic, everything goes together. And then sometimes, you need a bounce, and all of a sudden you get confidence, and it's like you're shooting it into a soccer net. So there's ebbs and flows of the season. We just want to continue to get better at both.
What has JBD done to not only earn but keep that spot in the top four?
He's defending hard, and I think he continues to work on his puck play. Sharing pucks coming out of the D zone. Obviously he's willing to give his body up. The shot blocking and his penalty killing has helped us. And it takes time for these young D. I think so much is made when a guy doesn't make it right away. When people want to see him in the lineup, it takes time, and you want to put the guy in a spot to succeed. Right now, he's playing really well with Chicky, and we hope it continues.
What has Joseph done differently, or maybe better than he did last year, just to elevate his game? Because he's having the best career. He's having the best season of his career so far.
Well, I think his element of his game is something we need, and that is his constant detail, his work ethic. He's a really, really intelligent hockey player. I think he just probably put so much pressure on himself coming to a new team, new contract. I think he got to know the boys, feels comfortable in his own skin, in the room, and don't forget, he was injured most of last year as well. So, he gives me the most consistent effort every night.
Looking maybe at the next 8 days, as a coach, do you like the light schedule and the way that you guys will be able to practice more?
No, I think, the light schedule maybe with the time change and that, but as a coach, we want to start playing. I look today, I think we're 5 games behind a couple teams in the West, and that's going to catch up, and then you're going to play every other day. But I think when you're playing every other day, you got to just make sure your game's on and you just go city to city and you're not thinking too much, whether it's good, bad, indifferent. And there's not a lot of time in between, and you stay sharp. And the NHL's made like that. Every guy, 82 games. This is really a weird kind of schedule because of us going to Sweden. That you're never going to see this stretch where you play 2 games, 7, 2 games, and 7. That's not going to happen, and we'll make them up. But then we're going to find out a lot about ourselves, and that's where you got to make sure your game is bang on.
Do you anticipate with Corpusalo that he likely wouldn't back up Monday or be back Monday either?
Oh, that I don't know. That would be up to the trainers. I think he'll be fine, but we'll see. We're not going to. It's the same thing as in Sweden. I mean, we're not going to put him in a spot or any player in that spot, where he couldn't go 100%. So we'll see what it looks like tomorrow or the next day, but that's a few days away.
And DJ, in the past, when Forsberg's had nice stretches, has there been something different you've noticed about his game, his confidence, maybe the defense in front of him that's allowed that?
I think every goalie in the league, when you don't give up odd man rushes, has a better chance. When you don't take a lot of penalties, you have a better chance. And then goaltending is confidence. When he's on and he knows he's kicking, you can feel it amongst the bench. You can see it in his eyes, and he was kicking in Sweden.
Last time the Islanders beat you guys 3-2, what do you need to win tonight?
That was a really sloppy game by both teams, and it's a ways away, from when we played them. But certainly, one thing they're going to do is not give you a lot. You can't press it, and you got to be prepared to play a very similar game as we played against Minnesota. They're comfortable in a 1-0, 0-0 situation. If you press it, you're going to give them chances, and it will show a lot about us as a group, maturity-wise, is that maybe it's 0-0 for a real long stretch, or 1-1. Who's going to break first? Be willing to do like we did last game. Chip, and stay in the game.
Good. I mean, obviously a little bit of time to adjust to the time difference and stuff, but no, good. I feel like the guys were pretty tired early, so we had to manage that. But no, good practice week and ready to roll.
What do you think is going to be important to keep a rhythm tonight, given that you haven't played for almost?
Yeah, I think early in the game, I think we're gonna have to play simple. I think we're gonna have to get our legs under us early. Haven't played in a couple days, so sometimes it's a little dicey in the first couple minutes of the game. But our preparation is going to be has to be solid. And like I said, I think we got to play simple. And when we get our legs under us and a little bit back to playing the game, I think we just have to do what we have to do.
À quoi tu attribues ton début de saison? Tu connais la meilleure saison de ta carrière, tu as la chance de jouer aussi dans le top 6. As-tu changé ta façon de jouer? Tu expliques comment?
Je pense que ma préparation depuis le début de l'année m'a vraiment aidé à performer. Je pense que je joue avec des excellents joueurs aussi. Je pense que mon équipe qui est capable de scorer beaucoup de buts. Fait que je suis un gars qui persévère dans le sens que j'ai pas aimé mon année l'année passée à un certain point, puis je me suis préparé pour l'été en conséquence, mais pour vrai j'essaie juste de me présenter puis de m'améliorer à chaque jour. J'essaie juste d'aider l'équipe le mieux que je peux à tous les matchs, puis de donner mon 100% pour vrai à toutes les pratiques et matchs.
C'est à quoi du match de ce soir, votre premier depuis samedi essentiellement?
Ouais, bon test. Je veux dire, c'est une équipe qui est extrêmement structuré défensivement, un bon gardien de but. Il joue du très bon hockey récemment. Fait que non, je pense qu'on va être prêt pour le match, mais en même temps, il va falloir qu'on soit sharp dans nos détails, soit vraiment détaillé dans notre façon de bien défendre, puis pas trop pas laisser ça trop ouvert. Je pense que c'est une équipe qui est capable de faire mal en power play aussi avec des bons joueurs. Puis je pense que si on suit notre système de jeu, je pense qu'on va être correct.
Why didn't you like your game last year?
Well, first of all, I think I don't want to use that as an excuse. Honestly, I never like to do that, but I didn't feel great last year for most of the year. Skating wise, ankle wise, and obviously that takes a little bit of confidence into you. And I feel like there's a lot of times where some goals probably should have been in the net and didn't, and sometimes it just gets your confidence out. And try to work on my touches a little bit more this summer, a little bit more confident with the puck, and to bring that into my game. And I think when I have poise with my speed, I think I can make some things happen. So, but like I said, credit to a lot of guys I've been playing with. We score a lot of goals, and I've been playing with some pretty elite players. So it's been fun to be able to contribute. But also, obviously I've been a guy who always care about my defensive side of the game, and last year I thought I did a really good job about that part. So I needed to improve some stuff, and I think I'm going to try it and keep improving those.
When you set a goal, how satisfying is it then to just have the output you're having this year after a year that you didn't like?
Yeah, I mean, there's 15 games in though, there's 65 more games to go, and you're not gonna be happy with your season first 15 games of the year, and the main focus for me is more to be consistent like that every game, and not necessarily on the score sheet, but if I can have an impact in the game, and every time I'm stepping on the ice or every game I have, trying to help the team wins, that's what matters for me. So obviously I think if you play the right way, obviously the score sheet is going to come, but I think I'm I'm more responsible about the fact that I don't want to give up much for the other team and keep the puck out of the net, because I think when you don't give up anything, that's when you win games.
When you're looking to regain your confidence, how much of it is mental? Maybe convincing yourself that you can get back to a certain level.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of it in your mental part of the game. Obviously physically that's helping for your confidence, feeling good on the ice and stuff. But I think the mental part is very important, and that's what I think that's what was lacking a little bit for me last year in terms of confidence with my body, confidence with my game, and I think when it's spurs, right? It's phases, and sometimes I feel like every player has that, and you're not going to feel always perfect and always 100%, but when you believe in yourself, and I think it's the best way you can do that, and I try to do that this summer and bring this.
Besides doing the physical, obviously the physical training, do you do any kind of mental training? Like, do you talk to a psychologist or anybody to try and?
Yeah. I mean, we have access to one here in our team, and Natalie's been great. I think some of the guys are definitely using her, and but in past years too, in Tampa we had a guy too like that we could talk to. He would come to the rink here and there, on the road here and there too, and I feel like that part of the game is not necessarily always used enough in hockey, and I think the main part of it is in a game of a hockey player is probably that mental part. So I think obviously this summer wasn't necessarily something I've mostly focused on. I think I was more trying to feel better on the ice, but we have resources everywhere around the team that can help us be a better hockey player and improve.
Was there any point last season where you're wondering what's going on, like where you started to doubt maybe yourself?